Alright, welcome back everyone. If you missed out on the deck tech, that will be in the last episode. We are starting off day 2 against an Acilia. We're going to go ahead for AB2 here, as that is the most that the deck is packing right now. We're going to bring in Amnesia and a Raised Face to take care of lightning cards and sigils, respectively. We're going to take out Sound the Alarm because they're not running attack reactions, a ton of them at least. And we're going to take out Torrent of Tempo. Torrent of Tempo is pretty good for like aggressive matches. This I don't think is going to be one of them. Let's go ahead, throw these down. I think we're going Kadachi Sensor, potentially naming Sigil of Brilliance. I think that's a good early game name. We'll Arsenal the Flick Flack, and then, oh, what was that? Looks like we have a different hand. Alright, we'll send out Kadachi Amnesia, hoping to Arsenal Warmonger's Diplomacy. Battlefront Bastion effect is pretty good. Permitting the next damage. Yep, means Kadachi for 1. Amnesia, we're going to pitch a Rowdy Locals. And this is just to eliminate any sort of sigil name shenanigans they have going. Floating charge, and a shock. Throw Rowdy Locals to the bottom, and we will Arsenal Warmonger's Diplomacy. This hand is looking interesting. I don't think we're going to end up playing Dual Threat here. We're definitely just going to play the Warmongers out from Arsenal. Blast to Oblivion. Yeah, we can go ahead and we'll block with Sink Below. We'll bottom the Dual Threat. Yep, there we go. Lightning Press. All right. Go ahead, bottom the Dual Threat, and it's a 3rd blue. Wow. All right. I mean, we can pitch it, we can block it. It'll be all right. Alright. Our turn. They trade Greaves for Kadachi. Those do have Battle Worn, so they won't go away. They'll take the 2. It would feel pretty bad to Arsenal one of these blues, but I think it's what we gotta do. Keep the disruption up. It'll give us something we can fall back on at least. And I don't think we're ever going to have enough cards in hand for that to be too damaging in this matchup. We're doing a lot of blocking and a lot of pitching. Alright, well, Arsenal, Dishonor. Ooh, beautiful aggressive hand here. If we can somehow keep all 4, well, they pop boots, so that won't be happening. Alright. It's giving all their instants go again this turn. We'll block Winds of Eternity here, and yeah, I think we'll start there. They pop Chest and Legs. This is potentially a rather dangerous turn. Yep, gone in a flash once more. I don't think they're going to let us keep the Command and Conquer, so Volzar already being at 3, them having 3 other cards, they wouldn't have just popped Chest and Legs for no reason. We're going to go ahead and we'll give it to them. I think it's too early to throw Fandals out in front as well. Yep, there we go. Sigil of Solace. Going in a flash again. I think we're just going to have to let this one hit. Sigil of Brilliance, yep. Do they have an Electromagnetic Somersault in Arsenal? Or I guess... Ah, Shock. Oof, that is tough. We're taking 8 off the Shock. Wow. And they're going to Arsenal gone in a flash. With Sigil of Brilliance there as well, this is going to be pretty tough to handle. We'll throw Kodachi for 1, hope they don't block it, so we can send cut through. They do. Alright, send Kodachi for 2 is our only hope. Alright, cut through. For 4, Yoyun. So this is pretty easily blocked out, but it is threatening mask. They'll let it hit. Yeah. We get to Arsenal Sensor, and that'll be all. Alright. Yikes. Embodiment of Lightning and Sigil of Brilliance. This is going to be really good for them. No D reacts to him to cleanly take out Gone in a Flash, so we're going to be dealt some damage this turn. Popping arms as well. Alright. We'll throw a Race Face and Mask in front of this first one. Okay, discarding an instant. So many cards on hand. Flittering Charge. Ugh. Right in between. Throw down Fan Center and Spring Tunic here. Try to evenly block that out. Try to just conserve life total. I don't think we're seeing past this turn. We are going to go ahead and pop Vandals in case they throw any arcane damage our way, just to be able to get that resource off. There we go. That'll do it. Alright, we're going to lose out on our cards. We'll pay 1, draw 1 card. Wow. That did not feel good. Maybe this is something we can come back from. Maybe. But I don't know. Remains to be seen. For now, we'll do what we can. We'll send out 5. Very strong start from Acilia. A cool sink below. A second sink below. Alright, that sensor's not hitting. I guess now they only get to have 4 cards in hand instead of 5 though, so that's something at least. Yep, we'll let them kill us even harder. Gone in a Flash. I will say, evenly blocked out by Fate Foreseen. So, thank you, Fate Foreseen. Dual Threat's not going to help us here. Edgings of Arcana. If it deals more than 3 damage, you may turn an aura with Sigil in its name from your graveyard to your hand. Oof. If we pitch 2 here, we're going to give up a lot, but I think it's good to just sort of at least attempt to keep them down right now, right? It's just dealing 5. We can block out 2. If we keep the blue, we'll send Kodachi. If we keep these 2 instead, we can send out Bittering Thorns for 4, which is objectively more value. Or I guess we could Arsenal Erase Face and just send out a Kodachi for 1, but I guess that sort of implies that we're going to get another turn, which I'm not sure if we are. You can never really tell with combo decks like this where you sit. Oof. Great sync below. Alright. That's that. I wonder if I can convince them to run it back at the end of this. Try to go again and see. Maybe it's just the matchup, but I don't know. They had a really impressive start. They played very well. Battlefront Bastion for 7. Sick. We'll go ahead and we'll throw Dishonor and Fate for C in front of it, maybe? Keep the blue on top. You might need it. They have an instant? Nope. Alright, Kadachi Malinki. They could take every single point of damage we throw and still be 10 ahead. Ooh, Capricorn thinking. Alright, it's going to allow them to discard some instants and draw some cards if they want. So they'll discard Null Shock and draw another card. I wonder if they're doing that more for hand fixing than anything else. And if so, I wonder how scared of that we should be. The answer is probably a lot, but that remains to be seen. I said it in the last video, and I think it's true. I think Asili is one of the most fun decks to play against, and I wonder if it's one of the most fun decks to play. It's just such a bouncy hero. You know, throwing all the sigils around, throwing all the instants around. It's pretty great. We'll throw Rowdy Locals and probably sink below? Sinking nothing, honestly. I want to have another D-React. I want to have another blue. Okay, shock. We'll throw Sync Below down. They're going to turn this to their hands and get something, so we'll keep what we have. Coming in for 4. God, I think we take this? Yeah, I guess so. Alright, they're going to Arsenal. I think we just play out Warmongers here. Try to stop all the split damage, but then again, it's not going to stop their instants, but if they chose War, we'll Arsenal Flick Flack. No, oh, we drew a second Flick Flack here, which is cool. We can Flick Flack, Winds of Eternity, potential second Flick Flack. The problem is going to be, I don't think we're going to get back on the front foot in this game. Oof, Channel Lightning Valley. Yeah. Definitely still playing this out, though. I enjoy it quite a bit. Not current funnel. Alright. We don't want to block out, we don't want to lose the Flick Flack effect. Giving our next blocking card +2 as long as it says combo, which Winds of Eternity certainly does. Considering a reaction here. Channel Lightning Valley, we'll draw them a card. Some more card draw. Calling in a flash for 7. Alright. Well, there's 7. Alright. We'll send Kadachi for 1, Kadachi for 2, Arsenal Flick Flack, and nope, we don't want to close that. We want to send the second Kadachi. Thank you, Talishar. Yes, now we want to close it. missing out on a D-react here. Cut through feels kind of bad. But we will go ahead and throw Flick Flack in front of this, giving us a little bit more block power with the Fine Center on the next chain link, if it's something larger. Sigil Solace. Is it a second channel Lightning Valley? Oof. Oh, do they bounce it? Yeah, no. Alright. Wow. At this point, do we attempt to fatigue them? Perhaps that is a valid strategy. We do have a hand of 4 cards here. That's pretty aggressive, so we're going to go ahead and try to bite in a little bit. They have no armor. Cut through, Kadachi, and Censor. Alright, let's see what else they got for us. Sigil of Conductivity, Etchings of Arcana. It's going to be 4. I think we can just prevent all 4, right? Pitch 2, instant, there and there. Oh, I guess it already dealt the 2? That seems kind of crazy, I think. Okay, well then, that's a blunder on our end. And I think that kind of just spells game. Yep. Lost pretty much any chance to respond. That's BS. We didn't mean to do that. Alright. And one way or another, I think that'll just be a game. We're at 2. Yeah, 7. We'll throw Fine Center and the D-React in front of it. We'll throw down some sort of instant, or... Yep, there we go. Blink. 4 more. Alright. We'll go to 1. I think missing the priority window on those shelters really did us in. Not that I think that we had a comeback point, but certainly took out what chances we had. Are they going to shock us here? No. Alright. Blast to Oblivion, we'll throw Fletcher Fist in front of it. Yep, the Somersault. Blast to Oblivion again, we'll throw the other Fletcher Fist. They'll discard Blink. I think they're just trying to find some sort of arcane damage effect here. Current Funnel. Alright. Volsar at 8. The nastiest shock of all time. Oh, Sigil Solace, wow. Alright, we survive another turn. Flick flag sink below a blue and a dual threat. I think that's game. Yeah. Alright, couple of bad decisions on our end. Some really strong starts on theirs. Will they give us 3 much? Nope. Alright, so back home we go. Competitive CC. Once again. Oop. Fascinating. Classic constructed. Ira mirror. Alright. I'm going to assume that they're on Edge of Autumn. Hello. Hit him with the good luck, have fun. We'll bring Amnesia into play. Probably in lieu of Torn of Tempo. And I think that should be it. Kodachi Ira Mirror. Ooh, they're on the Tigers. I wonder if they're running the list that was seen at Pro Tour Singapore. Let's go ahead, we'll play CNC, pitching these two. We'll pass. Okay, we got Assault the Wind and a CNC. We'll get to do one of my favorite things with this deck, which is to arsenal the Sigil Sauce. And a very aggressive second hand here. Gotta try to keep them off mask, though. I think we can let the Kodachi for 1 hit. Concealed Blade. Super cool. Are they gonna flick the Kodachis? I mean, they don't have flick knives, so maybe it's other flick effects? Seems cool. Block the second Kodachi. I'm okay blocking with dual threat as well, if we need to stop mask. Oh, well, they have one of their own. So I guess mask isn't really on the table here. Ah, CNC. Now here's the beautiful thing about this, is that their dual threat's pretty much just neutralized by our Sigil Sauce and response. And I like dual threat to be able to go Kodachi dual threat sensor. So I think we just it's still early. We can block out 3, gain 3, and only take 3. And then return with 8, which I like that more. We'll block dual threat, will pass. Beautiful instant here. Baiting out the CNC. And then we'll take 6. That's fine. Alright. Very glad we didn't keep the D-reacted arsenal of that. Kind of a win there. Still thinking about that Acilio game. That was super cool to see. And at least now we know the shelter timing comes before like any damage is blocked out by Arcane Barrier, which makes sense, right? You have to play it prior to attempting to prevent the damage through Arcane Barrier. I just thought you had to step in between it. Alright, the Walk with Vittering Thorns to stop mask. That's fine. Sensor. And what do we choose here? We've seen 2 CNCs. Dual threat, Assault the Wound. What else are they running? I guess we can name Sensor, right? Like, that's a thing we can name. I think they're just on a bunch of 3-0s. Kodachi for 1. We can hit him with shelter here, I think. And just really try to turn off mask. I think I like that. Because they're not just going to end their turn here, so it'll give us value over the next couple of chain links. And yeah, we're getting 3 value with it instead of 4, but it completely blocking out this chain link without us having to like waste a piece of armor feels good. Weakest link. Choose a card with a base defense. All of our cards have that. I mean, they're not on Edge of Autumn, so I don't think Amnesia is worthwhile. So we'll take 3 off this exchange. They have nothing up to play any D-Reacts with. And we'll just keep this. So again, just presenting another 8 damage. I think 8 damage a turn plus a little bit of disruption is how we win this game. This is fine. Take our 3 damage. Switch it around. Send it right back at him. I wonder if Sound the Alarm's even going to fire here. I'm not sure what attack reactions they'd be running. This seems like the list that we saw at the Pro Tour. The player's name currently escapes me, as I'm kind of new to the watching the competitive scene side of things, but... Sirens of Safe Harbor. Cool, cool. That's the gain 1? Yeah. Alright. Sound the Alarm. Weakest link. Biting Breeze. Cut Through. Ooh, Cut Through means we're going to want to try to block Kodachis here and get them to pitch. Biting Breeze, a 0 cost. Weakest link is 2 or... yeah, 2 cost. Sounds of Safe Harbor, we'll gain them 1. Alright. Okay, we can Flick Flack Mauling Key here. We let the first Kodachi hit, see if they play out Cut Through on the second. We have no idea what's in their arsenal. Biting Breeze. Ooh, okay, cool. We can keep Knives Out and Mauling Key just to go Kodachi, 5. But yeah, we can block 3 here with Mauling Key. I don't know if blocking with Flick Flack here, yeah, we're over blocking 1. And giving +2 block to the next thing. Yeah, I think knowing that they got Weakest Link in hand, they have Vandals up so they can play it. They're going to try to send a Tiger for, I believe, 1 on the next chain link. But yeah, we'll throw Flick Flack here for a little bit of value down the road out of this Mauling Key. And perhaps that's not worth it, but that's why we practice, you know? Ooh, pain in the backside. Okay. It's coming in for 4. We'll block 5. I'm fine with that. Avoiding the extra damage from Kodachi. I love this card. I was considering running it in our list, just because the extra point of damage it deals is pretty cool. It blocking for 2, I think, is the only reason that I have held off on it. And there we go with the Weakest Link. Again, everything in our hand has base defense, so it's just 6 damage. I think, unfortunately, we're just going to take this here and present 8 back. So we block 9, swing 8. I guess that's better than Tough Nut, right? Tough Nut out of the new set is a block 9, swing 7, they say. I want to take this time to thank you again for spending the time with us and for sort of watch me go through this. I am excited to be learning more about the game. I'm excited to be putting more time into it and to, really get better. And that does take just a lot of reps, a lot of steps, a lot of practice. And so, thanks for watching. And again, if you're curious on the deck list, it's in the previous episode. Yesterday we had, I think, significantly better luck out of the gate. But I've been really enjoying this so far. Legacy of Ikaru. This is one of the new Edge of Autumn cards. I guess it's just a blue block 3/0 cost for Kodachis that gives an attack +1. We're sort of approaching the midpoint here of the game. I don't think I've played a Kodachi Ira Mirror online before. Alright, two pair. Maybe we ought to be playing poker. We'll go ahead, we'll throw Flusterfist in front of that. Alright, Kodachi for 2. We're okay with that. Alright. Kodachi for 1. We'll try to prevent mask here. We'll just throw Breaking Scales in front of it. I guess my plan here is to Kodachi, use Fandels for CNC. Could also do the Kodachi CNC for 7. Yeah, Salt the Wound here. Just for 3. Could block CNC, but also could Arsenal it for later on. I think that gives us more room to, assume that they're going to block one of these things out. So I don't really care too much about that. But again, they don't really have an Arsenal right now, so it's not the biggest thing in the world for CNC. I'm just going to prevent D-reacts, which I think is potentially good. We haven't seen any yet. I'm not sure if they sided them all out. We've now seen 2 Salt the Wounds, 2 CNCs, 1 dual threat. It'd be nice if this card was a dual threat, but that's fair. Yeah, they don't have an Arsenal, so we don't need to just Kodachi into CNC for value. I think we can try to force them to either block this out or risk drawing another card off of Mask. But it is 6 damage. That, at this point in the game, that's nothing to scoff at. Alright, we got 3 out of them, so we will draw off Mask. Order of Triggers doesn't matter to me. We'll draw Winds of Eternity. Yep, we're definitely arsenaling that CNC. Warmongers, Flusterfist, Sensor. No D-reacts, but you can pretty easily block this all out. Kodachi for 5, wow. With Go again. Upsticks and Run, Concealed Blade, and then the Flick one as well. Pain in the Backside is pretty cool. I think Flick Knives in here also would be pretty sick, but hey, what can you do? They're sending 5 here. We'll block 6 of it. I'm fine with that. Weakest League, again, that's not doing much. Coming in for 7. Put us down to 15. I think I'm fine with that. They're at 17. We're going to present. 1, 2. We could, in theory, pitch the sensor for a CNC. They don't know we have an arsenal, but they know we have a sensor and Winds of Eternity in hand. So we're going to do Ye Old Kodachi for 1, Kodachi for 2, see how they block. Could send sensor if we want, keep CNC in the arsenal for a later turn. I think I might do that. Though, in theory, we might want to arsenal like a D-React or something off the top here. But they still have 1 CNC floating around of 44 cards here, but... yeah, we'll send Sensor. What do we even name in this situation? Maybe Dual Threat. We've only seen 1 copy of that. I mean, or maybe they finally have their sensors. I don't see any here, and I know that Ira does love Sensor. Crane Dance, yeah. Glad we didn't send that CNC because we did not want to arsenal that. We're gonna name... I like Dual Threat. I feel like that makes anything they do a little bit better. And I guess I could still pitch it to their 2 Kodachis, but I'd rather that than face the consequences of a full-fledged Dual Threat turn. Which I guess with 3 cards in hand they couldn't really do anyway, but... Sync below Crane Dance Fine Center. Oh wow. If you folks aren't familiar, Crane Dance, if it hits, we pop the boots, and then Fine Center then becomes very hard to block. We can go Kodachi, Kodachi, Crane Dance into Fine Center, and then on the off chance that Fine Center hits, it would create a Zen State token. This is a little bit hard to block because if Crane Dance was the last attack this combat chain, Fine Center can't be defended by cards with cost less than the number of chain links you control. So if we go Kodachi, Kodachi, Crane Dance into Fine Center, that X would be equal to 4 there. And I don't think they're running anything with cost 4. So, I've pulled this off quite a bit. In paper especially, it's very funny because people doubt the Crane Dance. They don't really see it coming, and then you can kind of get them on it. I think I'm going to sink below here and attempt to sink maybe the Crane Dance. I've really just been trying to keep them off of Crouching Tigers. Not for any specific reason, it's just... oh, Shelter. Welcome guest, welcome guest. I don't know, I just... if they're running these, it has to be for some non-zero amount of payoff. And I think I'd rather just avoid giving that to them. We will, however, aim to just take 2 off these Kodachis, putting us to roughly the same life total. That's fine. We could also risk next turn going Kodachi, Kodachi, Pounding Gale, pop Boots, pray we draw a card. I guess it depends on whether or not they block the first 2 chain links. Kodachi for 1, that's fine. Do they have a 0 cost? Is it cut through? It is! Hello! Alright, 2 options here. If this didn't have a go again, I think I would just let it hit so they draw a card and arsenal it for us to send CNC out. However, I think Shelter evenly blocks it and gives us a chance once again to leave Command and Conquer in the arsenal. Again, feels kind of bad, but also not really, because, yeah, we can just send these. It's a 2-card 8, which is pretty solid, especially when we're at 12 apiece. They don't have an arsenal. We haven't seen any D-Reacts, so maybe they have them all, and they're just in, this portion of the deck, so we're going to get D-React swamped now, but we can work with that, and we can adjust from there. Again, we're running the risk of their 3rd Command & Conquer somehow finding ours, but yeah. We've played out 2, so we've seen all of ours as well. Right, they go down to 10. We send Pounding Gale for half their life. Do they give up armor here? Pounding Ball's being battle worn is pretty sick. Same thing with breaking scales and preserve roots, which we will not destroy. They take 5 and go to 5. Wow, they like their hand. I guess they're gonna try to end it here. Oof, 4 blues. We could keep these 2 though and go Kodachi, Knives Out, Kodachi, affected by Knives Out, and then pop Tunic for CNC. That'd be 2 from the first Kodachi plus 3, so 5 plus 6 for 11 total, which isn't like the worst thing in the world. Silver and Talons. Wow, they're really just on the we're definitely not flicking our daggers, guys plan. I guess I just don't understand why you don't run Flick Knives at that point. You're already running upsticks. I guess you could also run Pick Up the Point. Dual Threat. Just as many Kodachi things as you can. Silver Talons would be such a better card if it had Go Again on it. Such a better card. But also, this doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't have combo. It's not Draconic. It's never going to be Draconic. So it's just a blue attack 2, block 3 with no combo for Flick Flag. I run a lot of useless blues. I mean, like, we can't pop Dishonor at all, but we run it because it says combo on it, and it can block for 5 after Flick Flag. I also do something a little unorthodox by mainboarding 3 Knives Out and 3 Dual Threat. 3 Warmonger's Diplomacy. Bittering Thorns, and then Kodachi. Okay, I get you. I get you. What else have you played this turn? The Crouching Tiger, so the Kodachi will get the benefit, yeah. That's pretty sick, honestly. I will give it to them. We'll give Mask here as well. We don't want them getting the extra point of value, because it's already going to be such a tight-knit game. Up sticks into a really big Kodachi. That's awesome. Yeah, Kodachi for 8. Wow. I guess we have to block with Knives Out here. Take 5, go down to 6, and then just Kodachi CNC. Which we've done better, we've done worse. Could do the really ballsy move here, you know, presenting 11 damage, so they have to block it out. They can block 3, 4, 5 from their armor suite. Yikes, so that just take 2 cards out of their hands. They get Kodachi, 1 for 5. Take all 4 of ours in response. So yeah, blocking here is going to be smart. We'll take 5, we'll go to 6. Wow, that was cool. Is that all 3 dual threats? I reckon it is. Alright, so they don't have any for the rest of the game. War of Attrition, I guess. Could also Kodachi CNC here, because that extra 2 points will get us something. They're gonna let the one hit. Alright. We're probably gonna have to block with Tunic anyway, so. Alright, this one, again, threatening half their life. They can just throw any of their armor pieces in front of it and be fine. They're thinking on it. I think we're going to have to draw really well here to maintain tempo, or just pray that they, you know, have to block a ton. Which, I mean, we're presenting, wow. Is there some kind of a D-react in their hand, or are they just taking 2? Alright, so now they have to block out 4 of Command and Conquer, which means, I guess they could just do their 2 armor pieces and be fine, which is, you know, I guess they have to block out 5, so they can do all 3 of their armor pieces. Wow. Sorry for my inability to do math. It is currently 1:44 in the morning, but we're getting practice in no matter what. Biting Breeze, Mask, and Shuko. Okay, so no Biting Breeze. That's fine. That's half our health anyway. They're keeping Fandles, though. I wonder if they have a plan for it. We're willing to block ours. Probably right here on this Kadachi. Even blockout. Fate Foreseen. We've got probably a game-winning hand here if all goes well. Pain in the backside is, as it says on the sticker, a pain in the backside for us. Throw that to the bottom. That's not a D-react. I think when we get down to these sort of grindy life total games, it's important to dig for a D-react. Kadachi for 1, we're going to take that. We're going to go to 5. We're going to risk this being a cut through. Uh-oh. 2. What are they sending? 6 for the Sirens of Safe Harbor. Darn. Alright. So that's 4. That'll put us to 1. But in return, we can go 1, 2. So that'll take 1 card of their hand if they choose to take that. This will take 2 more, so that'll put them to 3. So then Kadachi. God, I think we have to go for it. I wish this was a 1 for 5 with combo so that we could send breaking scales, but. Alright. They're at 3. Oh, Sirens of Safe Harbor, gaining them a life there is really good. They could throw Fandles in front of that, they could not throw Fandles in front of that, doesn't matter. Maybe they'll have some sort of an attack reaction in hand, such as Concealed Blade. We know they're running that, we know they've been pitching that. But. Yeah, any one of their flick cards here, and we kind of bite it. We also have to worry about Legacy of Ikaru, I guess. Nip at the heels. So they are running a decent number of attack reactions. Again, they stay thinking. We are bearing with them. Definitely not seeing the success we saw last night, but I guess, you know, it ebbs and it flows. It ebbs and it flows. Let's just say they throw Fandles in front of this. Oh, or not. Cool. This will present lethal, so this will take a card. Or maybe they'll just put Fandles in front of this. Either way, this is taking 2 cards, so they could block Fandles here, take 1, send the Orm, somehow block 2 cards, and then send 1, 1, 1 for 5, and then I think that's game on us, but oof. Scaring myself a bit there. Being at 1 is not a great place to be. Flick Knives, very glad it's not there. Flick Knives heroes are really good at closing out games. Sirens of Safe Harbor, come on. Alright, that's fine. Suddenly Alarm's going to take 2 more cards. They've got Wounding Blow, again, just generic, Upsticks, and Flux Claws. Okay, they could go 1, 1, 4. Or I guess they'd go 4, then 1, then 1, then 1. Yeah. You still die there, bud. Alright, I mean, hey, win's a win. Good game. Alright. Ooh, a Slippy. We're going to want to go second, I think. We're pretty teched out right now to attempt to beat Assassins. We've got Snag. We've got Black Sun. And, oh, they've disconnected. We will give them a second and see if they reconnect. We're going to take out Torn Temple here. We're going to leave Warmongers, because you never know when you're going to hit Warmongers on a Codex turn, and then that feels really good. Then we'll take out probably a Crane Dance or 2. I think this is what I would take out, though I think there's an argument that could be made for Bittering Thorns as well, because it's a block 2 and we want to get rid of as many of those as we can. Alright, they disconnected. I don't think they want to play against us. That's okay. In the meantime, I want to say thank you so much for sticking around. We're 1-1 tonight. I will go ahead and pull up our statistics here, just to kind of show them off a little bit. I believe that puts us at, like, what, 1-1 on the day? Alright. Yesterday we went 5-1, I played one game in the afternoon. I lost that, but we did go 5-0 last night for the first episode, and then 1-1 so far. The Slippy matchup, feeling pretty good. Ira matchup, feeling pretty good. Acilio, I think, is... It's not a deck I really have struggled into. It's just about knowing when to keep aggression, when not to, and, when to just go all out in terms of blocking. They had a really strong start in that match, and they played it super well. Prism hasn't been a problem for us. Vincent hasn't been a problem for us. Gravy Bones, certainly, as we saw yesterday, was not a problem for us. I would like to play against more Dash IOs. I primarily have played Dash IO in the past. It's the deck I own and probably have the most reps in, both in paper and online. Would like to play against more Fang. I have a few of these locally that I get to play into in paper, and I have an easier time against them than I do online. Most of it is the same list. It's just it might come down to the players. Florian seems pretty balanced, pretty 50-50. We can work with that. Syndra, again, 50-50. It's a coin toss. It's always going to be. All right, let's see. Competitive CC. All right, Ira Pile. Ooh, Lavaya. Let's see here. Lavaya, 0-2. Yikes, let's hope to break that streak. I think we're going to run Crown, because they're not going to let us hit with Mask. We're going first. All right. They run a lot of Shadow stuff, but I'm not sure how valuable that is. I don't think the names of the cards matter. I don't think any of these sideboard cards are really helpful. So we're just going to send it. 2D reacts. Hell yeah. I guess the problem becomes here that they can start loading up their graveyard to exile for 6 power things. But yeah. I guess the Dread Screamer had 4. On the topic of Levia, I saw the post Mansant made about them finally being hired by LSS to go and do things. I've met them in person. They were super nice. Their recording setup and sort of design was super cool. Ooh, pulping. 6 dominate. Joke's on you, buddy. I could block that if I wanted to with the card from Arsenal. But I think we're going to save that for now. We'll go ahead and we'll throw... I like this here, being able to go 1, 2, 8, naming something, but probably Blood Rush Bellow. Excuse me. We'll go ahead and block Flick Flack here in case we have to emergency block Fluster Fist. Excuse me. Sick arts. I love the Monarch art cycle. My partner plays Vincent, and I will tell you, oh, the arts are incredible. Alright, pulping, dealing 2 to us. Call to the Grave, super cool. That's going to be Beast Within. Or, ooh, Deep Rooted Evil. Ugh, hell yeah. Alright, we're going to hit him with our aggressive across the board here. Keeping a D-React in Arsenal for Dominate is always good. On the off chance that we see we have Crown here to sort of protect us. Again, I don't mind dual threat here. We weren't going to draw a card off Mask anyway, so not playing that in this matchup. Brutes just have so much armor to luck with here. Sensor for 8. And I think we name Wild Red here. They run 8 Wild Red, right? Or Dread Screamer. They run 9 of those. We've seen 2. I guess we could also name Endless Maw. I really don't like that card. Oh, it's so good. I guess I do like it. It is flavorful. It is awesome. It's just, it hurts to stare down one of those. Let's go ahead and we'll name... Yeah, Dread Screamer seems like a good move. Maybe we will wish we had named Endless Maw, but I think for now it'll be alright. We're up to 3D reacts, okay. Wishing we saw some blues here, but Yep, endless maw. Darn. Darn, darn, darn. Alright. Agile wind up for an agility token. So what do we want our turn to look like? That'll be the question. We'll have one resource off Vandals. I guess we could Crown of Providence and attempt to get a better hand, but I think Kadachi for one, pitching maybe Shelter. Hopefully throw Cut Through after that, and then use Fandels for Sound the Alarm. Try to keep the pressure up. I like that. I guess that'll be decided by what's on top, and we can see that with Fate Foreseen. We'll let this resolve. Another Sound the Alarm. Putting that to the bottom. They can run Deep Rooted Evil this turn for 6. This does not have go again, though. Do we just take 5 here? I don't know. I say we ought to, just to be able to either block with either, save them for later. I don't think this is gonna get go again off anything. No. Alright, that's fine. I mean, we're still technically out ahead. Pitching the least useful D-React in this matchup, which is Shelter. Again, any D-React is a useful D-React. I just think out of the ones we have, especially Flick Flack, I'd rather keep that around for a Blood Rush turn than Shelter. And I've learned that against Brutes, you must always assume that their next turn is the Blood Rush turn. Alright, we're going to use Fandels here. No. And we'll send Sound the Alarm. We're going to see what they have. Wrecker Route. Mutated Mass. Sick. Mark of the Beast. And Agile Windup. They'll go to 20? Wow, okay. I wonder if they have the Doomsday card down here. Mark of the Beast. It'll be banished this turn, so... Yep. Alright, we can block... We could go pitch something to Kadachi, Knives Out, Kadachi again, send Rowdy Locals. And I think we're at enough of a life lead to where that's not really going to matter. I also think we could block with Crown of Providence and Flick Flack here, send something to the bottom and pray for a red to really help us keep the tides of this game going. Maybe this will be a little bit too greedy, but I think... I don't know. I like it. We'll keep both of our combo cards. Get rid of Rowdy Locals for now. Ooh, it is a Fate Foreseen. Not the best thing we've seen, but I guess pun not intended. We can save this for Dominate, then, and just send the Fate Foreseen to see what's on top, to make sure that doesn't happen again. Warmongers, I like it. Could always do Kadachi, Warmongers, stop a Blood Rush turn. Oof. Dread Screamer. Alright. Obviously banishing something with 6 here. It's going in for 6. Do we care? As of right now, I don't. Maybe they'll have Pummel in hand, but... Is Leviathan running Pummel right now? Deep Rooted Evil. I guess I can just keep cycling this card back and forth. Yeah, we'll send Flick Flack out here. I like these 3 to just... Yeah, Kadachi, send something at least. Send something at least. I think every point of life is going to matter here. Especially if we can get them down low enough to where Blood Debt won't affect their... the demi-hero they can turn into. I guess I'm sort of vaguely familiar with that, but... 18... That should be 15... Ah, they block it. Sea Legs. And then we got Flusterfist. I wonder if they're going to intentionally try to take Blood Debt to transform. Whoa. Yep, they vanish. 3. Oof, Deep-Rooted Evil again. It's looking good for them. We can throw... Fine throwing just 3 in front of that with Fine Center. They don't have a way to give that go again. That'll kind of just be wraps, and then we can go Kadachi, cut through, Kadachi, Warmongers. I guess this will put them down to nothing. They don't take blood at this turn. It's the Leviathan. Alright, they don't block the Kadachi. I guess it'd be pretty bad here if they blocked with Scowling Flesh Bag. But yeah, I guess seeing 2 mana up and 1 card in hand, yeah. Like I said, they'll send Flesh Bag. Which is fine, it's just Warmongers. It would be nice, because they haven't seen a Blood Rush yet, which makes me think one's coming. But, you know, every point of damage we can get off is 1 less point for them. However, they are now exactly at enough to go to 13. Which, you know, shame. We'll Arsenal the Warmongers. There we go. See? See? We knew it. We knew it. The hunch pays off. I guess for them, Warmongers would have been really nice. Maybe I got greedy there with the cut through, but sorry about that. We can perfectly block this one out. Here with this. We'll sink probably this Knives Out. Sensor. Okay, it gives us something else we can block with, but still attack. Swing big. For 10, no go again. Do we go to 12? And then attempt Kadachi, Torn of Tempo, Sensor. To really just kind of keep the heat up. I guess they have Carrion Husk to just kind of block something out. But and we can keep Warmongers around for another turn. I think going to 12 against a Brute feels like horrible. But is it that much better than going to 15? I don't know. We're going to find out. This is why we practice. A little bit risky, but hey, they don't have any agility tokens. They don't have anything else. They've arsenaled the card. That's fine. That is fine. We're not on mask, so we don't care about what happens with these 2 chain links here. It's just kind of like drawing them out, drawing them along. See, now this is saying you're going to be under 13. Look, Scabskins, which has Battle Worn, which is cool. So now there's a risk here. If Torn of Tempo does not hit, i.e. if they block it, we don't get go again, we have to take an IP penalty. And they could just throw Carrion Husk in front of it and be fine. But I guess we gotta try, right? Yep, that's fine. Yep, now they can Blood Dead on their own terms, go to 13, and have their demi-hero. Oof. No blues either. This is a tough time for us. I guess it's probably just going to be a Warmonger's turn, potentially. We can fully block 6. The question kind of just becomes, like, if we want to. Yeah, we'll send it. Might as well block. I'm not trying to take half my life right now. And I guess when the hand's all reds, we kind of have to be smarter about how we block. Especially because this card blocks for 2. Again, I'm not running 3 of it, because I don't like the fact that it blocks for 2. It feels bad every time. Alright, it's coming in for 3. I'm not blocking that. They can still play this for another 6. Try and whittle us down, which I think is precisely what they're going to attempt to do. What do we want to do on our next turn? We could play Bittering Thorns, pitching one of these, and then play Warmongers. So, screw it. screw it. Gotta go for it. Yep, that's 6. We're gonna go to 3. Oh god. Or I guess we could block 5, go to 8, play Warmongers. But we're really losing tempo on that. I think threatening to get them under 13 and also sending Warmongers is going to be more worth our while. But I am really scared of going to 3 right now. I mean, we've been taking risks all game. We can always ask them to try and run it back. Yep. That's their turn. Gonna ask them if they want to go to 10. Which I think at this point they just do. They want to keep all 4 cards. Though Apex Bonebreaker. Wow, they block 4. Alright. Sending Warmongers out. Maybe we're walking right into their trap here. Maybe this is how they transform, but... Shadow Realm Horror. 7 go again. I'll give it to you. That's pretty good. And they can play any of these this turn. Probably swing big. Alright. Alright. Their Blood Death's turned off. They can play swing big, yep. Which we still die. Alright. Taking the risks was not worth it. Let's see if they want a quick rematch. Alright, no. Alright. Another Levia. We can try to win it back. Again, I don't think any of these are going to help us. I think it's just going to come down to being a little bit smarter about when we punch and when we don't. I liked Crown. Yeah, I think that looks good. Sure. We'll go Kadachi. Eat damage. Kadachi. And then Rowdy Knuckles. Because if they want to hold on to the rest of their cards, then we'll make them discard 1. But otherwise, they're blocking out a 2-power blue. Alright, 1 and 2 on the night so far. We've seen better days. But that'll happen. Boneyard Marauder, they discarded Dread Screamer and Barraging Beatdown. Okay, so they do have misses for all their 6-power things right now. Ooh, we got the Fate Foreseen Sync Below combo to help out with the fact that we've got 2 blues here. Alright, let's hit him with Fate Foreseen first. That's an additional blue. Tough looks from the deck so far. And they just Arsenal. Alright, wow. Well, let's see what we can do here. Send Kadachi. They'll never see it coming a second time. We will close the combat chain. It's good to see that in the graveyard. That card was really cool, but I'd rather not be staring down it again. Alright, Simple in the arsenal. This is a beautiful hand. So we have to block here. Alright. We can block there and there. Keep everything else. I don't think anything else is worth losing right now, right? And I think keeping sync below is fine. Although they don't have go again. So here's the thing. They don't have go again. We could go Karachi, Command and Conquer, Mauling Key, and just try to push. And just be okay losing sync below. Which I think is what we'll do. However, this will be at 3, so maybe we'll just end Mauling Key. I think that's the best bang for our buck right now. That can remain exiled. That's fine. Alright, let's see it. Karachi for 1. They have Scowling Fleshbag they could throw out. It evenly blocks 2. So I think we're going to try to trick him here. Right. Because if we just play Karachi for 2, they know we have Command and Conquer and Duel of Rare because we blocked and then undid prior. Which is the consequence of such a thing. But CNC for 10 feels good. And they will get to load up the graveyard with as many 6 attacks as they'd like, but wow, they blocked 10. I guess the joke about brutes really having a fridge is kind of more accurate than you'd think. Swing big, we're staring down 2 D-Reacts here, that's fine. We can get a Quicken token if we block it out. Let's see what the Fate we're seeing here. Let's see what we got. On top. Thorn Tempo. Alright, I like that. Alright. I believe they don't have another attack. I believe that was just sort of a waste of an agility. Yep. So we'll go Kodachi, Bittering Thorns, other Kodachi. Right. Because there's no use in us putting the attack last. There's no Mask of Momentum here. So if this hits, it'll get us an additional point of value on the second Kodachi. Which maybe we can try to bait out the Scowling Fleshbag on that one. Or this one, honestly. Because we'll get this back at the end of the turn, just Arsenal. And the sooner that things go on, the better I feel about our aggressive turns. Carrion Husk, also very good. We can worry about that when we get there. Ooh, Bonebreaker. Alright. Alright. And Kodachi for 1. That's fine. We didn't need damage anyway. Still a relatively close game. At least for now, I feel like they haven't really done the Leviathan thing. And there we go. Spoke too soon. Shadow Realm Horror, 8 go again. That's pretty good. Alright. We'll send that, and the D-React. We have 1 combo card in hand to be able to block for 5 on the next chain link if need be. We don't have an arsenal, so send packing's not really going to do a whole lot. Yeah. Again, we saw this last time, I think. Kodachi, Tornado, if Tornado hits, sending Warmongers is pretty good. I don't care. We don't have an arsenal. We just kind of discussed what we wanted to do. And I think that we really have to be aggressive to try and break through here. And if Torn of Tempo hits Carrion Husk again, that's fine. And if for some reason they block this with a Fleshbag here on the second Kodachi, which they don't, we could always just send Warmongers if need be. Alright, Torn of Tempo. We're going to pray that it hits. Alright, that's fair. Temper, so they are going to lose Apex Bonebreaker. Which is fine, we'll get to Arsenal Warmongers, which, you know, also fine. Got 3 cards in hand. Yeah, CNC. Alright. For our Warmongers? We could block the 6. Or I guess it's 7, because of the Might token. And then just play Warmongers next turn, Arsenal Flick Flack. That's 5. 6, 7. Can elect not to do anything on that. Can Arsenal Flick Flack play Sigil of Solace and try to gain a little bit, because they are going to lose 2 life off Blood Debt. Do I want to lose that more than I want to lose Fandels and block Breeze Riders? I think I'm better off here like this. Because yes, losing out on the manas from Fandels will be kind of hurtful in the long run. But, oh, sorry about that. Let's go back. Sigil of Solace. Okay. Be at 29. Hit him with the Glorious Warmonger's Diplomacy. Because the Arsenal of the card feels kind of like a Blood Rush turn. We're going to hope not. They chose War, obviously. And I feel like every time I play Warmongers, I draw into a dual threat. Which is fine, it blocks for 3. It can pitch to either Kodachi if we need it to. Flick Flack and Dishonor for combo stuff. Oh, 9, no go again. Alright. Yeah, we'll go there. There. Do we want to take 3 extra and go to 25, or do we want to throw the Flick Flack out? I think we need to be really efficient with our blocks here. So I'm going to keep Flick Flack. We're going to play Kodachi Sensor on our next turn, and we're going to name Blood Rush if it hits. Which I guess they have Carrion Husk, but that'll draw that out. Maybe they'll play Scowling Fleshbag here. Which I think is what I'd do if I were them. Yep, reading their mind. Alright. Nothing else we can do. Which means that's probably a Blood Rush Bell, and they didn't want us messing with it. What was that? Tear limb from limb. Ugh. Swing big for 16. Alright, buddy. I like these 3 cards. We can send back some damage with this. We can block 8. We'll take 8. That's okay. I mean, I guess we can block 10. Take 6. Go to 19. Representing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or I guess 11 damage technically. Which is like, okay. So as long as we present more than we take. Jesus Christ. Alright. They truly did swing big on that one. Really good Scowling Fleshbag turn from them. Stopping the Warmongers. Or stopping the attack we had planned with the Sensor. Kodachi, it hit. We're going to send Cut Through for 5. If this hits, this will tie us. They could block with Carrion Husk here, which would be cool, because then they wouldn't have it for a Sensor. That's fair. No need to destroy the boots. We can go Kodachi for 1 again. Okay. And Sensor, which could just get Carrion Husked, and they could keep all 5 cards they have. Which, at the life totals we're at, yeah, that's fair. We've still got Crown. We've kept Crown. We have 1 D-React. Scabskins 1, 1, 6. Oof. Alright. Boneyard Marauder. It's going to come in for 6. I have a feeling we're going to need to survive this turn, so. Could go Crown of Providence, Shelter, bottom of the Fine Center. Yeah. Why did we discard Shelter? Damn, that's quite the blunder. Alright. Misclicking a lot tonight. I guess we're getting kind of tilted on that, but. Alright, Endless Maw. Maybe they have the damage to play something else. Swing big. Wonderful. We've kind of lost this already. It's going to happen. Tough night for us, but we'll try to keep going until we end it on a high note, and then we will continue on from there. Continue on from there. Reckless swing. Ah, deal 2 damage to us. Cool. Oh, yes, they took us up on it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Wow. A lot of red here. We could... I guess pitch something to Torn of Tempo. Arsenal, maybe sound the alarm? Maybe Torn of Tempo? I don't know which is, more relevant in this matchup. Graveling Growl. Okay, cool. Very thankful that they elected to play us again. Wow, they discarded 3. That's not a bad sign at all. Seven, we can block 7. We can block 7 and not have to sink anything, which would be pretty cool. It has go again. We don't really care that it has go again. We're going to attempt to keep these 3 cards to press damage, unless they're worth more to block. Yeah, we don't care. I guess the goal is going to be to push damage early, try to keep things in Arsenal, to play around Scowling Fleshbag. We can't get too greedy on attacks. We really have to be smart about how we block. Alright, they let all 3 hit. While they're at for 6. We can go ahead. We'll block 4 with Fate Foreseen. We'll leave Malinky on top. I don't think there's any reason not to. Withering Thorns, I think it's going to be a 1 for 4 with no text this time around. Dual Threats right on the block. We can't utilize the Kodachi half of it anyway. Alright. Fair enough. We'll just send this. Withering Thorns, then Kodachi. Which is fine. It's not perfect, but we're working with what we got. Alright, it hits. We can block 7 here. It does have go again, though. I guess could they loop Shadow Realm Horrors? Yeah, I guess. No, there's only 1 there right now. Alright, we'll go Rowdy Locals, Flick Flack. We could always block with Mauling Key if we need to on something else. We've kept the hand for Winds of Eternity, Mauling Key. Again, we're just trying to hold on to any and all life that we can here. I think that's going to be pretty important. 6, no go again. Bite my tongue on that one, because these 2 will send for 8 instead of blocking for 6, so it'll be more worth it for us to attack with them. But yeah. They could Scouting Fleshbag here. I think it'd be too early for it. But yeah. I always kind of, in the back of my mind, hope they throw it on the second Kodachi. They just kind of get rid of it. But alright, they block 6. That's fine. They loaded their graveyard back up. Also fine. Dread Screamer. Alright. 6 go again. I like these 3, and this is okay. But I think we might want to attempt to bottom it. because otherwise we're taking 3 free damage here at this point, and they could pitch to the Mandible Claw, which would make it kind of irrelevant anyway. Excuse me. There's no on-hit though, so maybe we'll save our armor and we'll just take the 3. Could also leave this in hand as Intimidate bait. And potentially something to Arsenal as well. Okay, Kadachi for 1. No Lux, cool. Send cut through. If they intimidate here, it's a coin toss as to whether or not we can have the cool sensor turn. They do not intimidate. Cool. Cool. I don't think they waste that on the Kadachi for 1, so I think we're in the clear for sensor. That we are. That we are. Alright, and sensor. Obviously, we're going to need Blood Rush here if this hits, but I don't think it's going to. They've got so much armor to block with. They've got cards in hand they can probably block with. Yeah. Also, it hitting, I guess, inches them ever closer to this here. Yeah, it hits. We're going to need Blood Rush. Add this to the arsenal, and then Dread Screamer. Coming in for 7, let go again. We have all the tools we need to send a dual threat CNC on Chainlink 2, though. So, I don't know, man. I think we pass there. We always play this to sort of neutralize out the 3 damage that we would take. Yep. Perhaps it's a little premature doing it on their turn, but I don't think they are going to use the Scowling Flesh Bag on this Kadachi. If they do, we're cooked. If they don't, we've got a really good plan of attack here. They don't. Incredible. Incredible. Alright. Dual threat. We could do the Kadachi for 2 and pop Vandals, but I don't want to send them a reason to use that. Alright, CNC for 10. That's good. Maybe we can get them through Carrion Husk, just add their blood a bit. But yeah, I apologize if some of the losses I've had thus far haven't really been the most entertaining thing in the world. Again, it's all just about learning at this point. And some of the best learning comes from losses, you know? The win rate on the deck in general is 70, so... And again, I know that doesn't mean a whole ton, because people are still, you know, out here like me practicing and trying to get better, but overall, I don't think the deck feels bad. I think maybe we have a couple of bad matchups. Maybe Levia is one of them. Although I can't really pin down why that might be. I think just so much armor, so much disruption, and consistent damage per turn. Although I also think I take a lot of risks that I don't need to in this kind of a matchup. Alright, I've got 8 to block with here. Do they have an agility? They don't. So they don't have go again. And they have 9 blood dead. Which will allow them to flip, I think. So we can block out 8 here. Go defense reaction there. Throw flick flack as well. We'll get our free quicken token. Doomsday. Yeah. Sick. Blasphemate the Soul Harvester. Yeah, that thing's so dying. Don't we get a quickened token? We do. Awesome. That's going to be our first attack go again. So we can send Sensor into Blasphemous to kill it. Oh, and they flipped. Alright, what is all the text on? Whoa. Alright. Da-da. Ah, so they're milling themselves now. Okay. Oof. We have a quicken token. We have 2 Kodachis to send at them. Let's send Sensor at Blasphemous. So it should get go again. Yeah. That'll take care of most of that, which is fine. I don't really care too much about that. I just want to get it out of the way. Kodachi for 2 at Blasphemous. It gets go again and I don't have to worry about anything else than Kodachi for 1 at Blasphemous. Yeah. I guess they're both Blasphemous. We sent 2 at Levia. There we go. Kill that off. I guess that was as a distraction from us to not just present 8 damage to them. But, alright, we're just blocking here, I think. Oof, and the Blood Rush. Discarding Beast Within. Oh, wow, this is... Oof, this is good for them. I can tell you that. We're going to block here and here. We're going to send CNC to the bottom. And we're going to pray we draw another D-red. We do not. That's okay. We got 2 block on the armor. We got these in hand. Alright, it's all about survival at this point. Let's just go ahead, flip that up, and this here. We're just aiming to survive. That's not a D-react. Attacking is probably going to be irrelevant. We're going to try to get them to mill themselves. Though I'm not sure how successful it's going to be. They're already at 32, and we're at 20 life. Oof. Alright. Okay. Banish. They'll all be face down. Eight with go again. Block 6, 7 of it. Guess we'll just do 6 of it. Take 2. I'm afraid they don't just kill us out from here. Though, who knows, they might. Endless Maul. Yep, that's going to get them close. We're going to go down to 7. Yep, they're going to exile some cards. Not enough to really help us here. We're going to use Feindos to send a Kodachi, because I reckon that's all we can do at this point. Pray we draw some D-reacts and that they draw badly. And we just aim to survive, I think. 1 D-react. Suitable, doable. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shadow Realm Horror. Alright, cool. Good card. Evenly blocked out by this and a D-react. So that's pretty cool. You're not a D-react. I guess we could always play out Warmongers next turn. Savage Feast, no go again. Alright. They're going to banish 7 more cards. So this would put us down to 5. But it would prevent Blood Rush, which is a thing that we need to do. No D-reacts. Oh, we do have a D-react here. We're saved. Alright, Bittering Thorns. Kind of not happy to see it. Rowdy Locals. But we're going to be alright. I can't guarantee that. We might die here to just a high roll. Shadow Realm Horror, again, very good card. Very fun card. I will say, even in the losses, this deck still feels fun to play. I don't know how much that'll reign true moving forward. As we get more reps in, maybe we'll get tired of some of the cycles that it gets and puts itself into. They have 6 cards left in deck. Alright, we're not going to be able to block with these cards, I guess. So let's try to send damage here. Oh, Scowling Fleshback. Alright, bud. Really itching to use that. Close the combat chain. We'll arsenal that Bittering Thorns. Hell yeah. 2 cut-throughs. Oh, goodness. We do not have a lot of block value. Especially not for a Tear Limb from Limb turn. Alright, here's the plan. Whatever big thing they send, we block. Winds of Eternity, sink below, likely 1 cut-through. We attempt to bottom the other one. Pray we draw a D-React. Maybe they'll send something with no go again. And that's not the case. Alright. So I guess we just send sink and we bottom a cut-through and we pray for a D-React. We don't get it. But we get a block 3. So that's halfway there, I guess. 3. We can block 3. We can block 3 all day. They will essentially mill themselves out here. So if we can survive this turn... 12. We can't. Alright, it'll happen. Alright, a couple of crippling defeats tonight. 1 good victory against Naira. We learned a lot. But finishing the night off at 1-4 feels, pretty bad. But moving up in the world. Levi is going to be a matchup that we have to work on. Maybe we change something out of the sideboard. Maybe there's something I'm missing in the matchup in general and how we go about playing it. The mirror match doesn't feel bad. Acilio, again, not a matchup I'm super concerned about in terms of deck construction. Maybe we go back up to AB3 instead of running Crown of Providence. Maybe that is a little bit too greedy. Yeah, nothing I'm really spooked about right now. Levi, we'll have to work on this. I think that this likely comes down to something on my end. But with that, I want to once again thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out. And yeah, hopefully we do better tomorrow. But we're learning either way. Take care.